But my distinct honor this morning is to introduce the first mayor speaker, Joe LaRussa, who I've actually known for years. Joe has been on the city council since 2017. He is a veteran, an engineer professionally by background, and a veteran of the automotive industry. And his strong interest in automotive, technology, and infrastructure, and I'm pretty sure you're going to hear about that in his speech, is what he brings to the table, and newly elected and excited to serve us and our community. So welcome, Joe.
Welcome to all our residents, business owners, visitors, and friends. We're here today to consider the state of our cities. And though the privilege falls to me to speak to such a matter on behalf of the city of Farmington, the credit for the message belongs to the entirety of our community. I'm here to tell you the state of our city is undeniably strong.
The city of Farmington is a welcoming community known for the connectedness and engagement of its residents, business owners, and community partners. The quality of its diverse neighborhoods and interactive public spaces, the economic viability of its thriving commercial districts, and sustainable and reliable city services. Our boards and commissions work to make our city a desirable place to live and own a business. I want to acknowledge the DDA Board of Directors that had a meeting this morning. If the board members would raise their hands, they had a meeting right upstairs and had to trundle down here for this show. So thank you for getting up extra early and supporting the city today. Our strong planning processes, connectivity, and constructive engagement give us the opportunity to benefit from public and private partnerships. Our city embodies community resilience with strong fiscal discipline, commitment to public health, arts and culture, and a focus on infrastructure renewal. Farmington holds high standards for its built environment, contributing to a pride of property ownership, a sense of place, and an aesthetic combining history with modern design. The clear evidence of Farmington's strength lies first and foremost in the steady increase in property values within the city. Residential property values have risen an average of 6.6% per year, and projections for 2024 show another increase of 8.1%. Similar trends exist in commercial and industrial property sectors, with 2024 property values forecasted to increase 4.7% and 5.7% respectively. These positive long-term trends are a result of increased economic development, solid municipal finance and planning processes, and strong collaboration. Permitted work in 2023, representing an estimated $8.4 million in property investment, is just one of the underlying economic development factors driving this trend. Farmington's continued AA bond rating from Standard & Poor's, strong economy, and diverse tax base also contribute. Maybe the most telling result of all of this is the faith that others have placed in us with their resources. Because of Farmington's strength and collaborative spirit, the city has received close to $5 million in grants, crowdfunding support, and special project funds to amplify our efforts and help us achieve our goals. I'd like to thank City Manager David Murphy and City Treasurer Chris Weber for their leadership and support to ensure Farmington attracts these types of opportunities and for being effective and efficient stewards of the community's resources. Other points of strength for Farmington lie in the two departments charged with keeping everybody safe and making sure that everything works. Farmington Public Safety, led by Director Bob Hohannison, continues a strong tradition of community policing and constructive engagement. Programs like Caught Being Safe and Police and Pancakes add to the visibility of our public safety officers and sustain a positive community presence. To ensure the continued success of the Public Safety Department, the city in 2023 invested in updated patrol vehicles, new sidearms, and body cameras that help protect our public safety officers while increasing the responsiveness and productivity of the department and its leadership via the use of streaming video and cloud-based storage. The Department of Public Works, led by Superintendent Chuck Udy, also took delivery of a new vehicle, truck number 9. It's a term of endearment. You can talk to him after the presentation about what happened to trucks 1 through 8. As you can see, this truck is equipped with substantial upgrades, including an extended snowplow, making the team more efficient in clearing the roads. The team in Public Works does its utmost each day to ensure that all of Farmington's buildings and grounds, water and sewer infrastructure, parks and green spaces, and of course, streets and sidewalks are in their best shape. As they do their work, this team also functions as sort of an infrastructure CSI unit, uncovering long forgotten and typically undocumented things underneath the ground, like old wooden water mains, interurban rail tracks, and more. Then they have to figure out how to keep the projects moving despite these discoveries. My hat's off to the team of dedicated pros who keep our city in tip-top shape. Farmington residents also did their part to help the city by ensuring we continue to lead in recycling and waste diversion. 9.5 tons of household hazardous waste and 873 tons of curbside recycled material helped our city achieve more than double the total recycling rate in Michigan. And we did it spending about half of the regional average. These results translate into real environmental impact, reducing the city's overall CO2 emissions by 2,351 metric tons. Thank you to each and every resident and business owner who helped us achieve these impressive results. Well, it wouldn't be 2024 if we didn't talk about elections. Last year, Farmington swore in its new city clerk, Megan Bachman, who took the torch from Mary Mullison. Megan has hit the ground literally running because of all the election updates that were mandated with the passage of Proposal 2 back in 2022, enshrining voting-related policies in the state constitution. The enabling legislation for these voting policies comprised 42 separate bills, many of which became effective just recently on February 13th of this year, 2 weeks before the primary election. The entire team in the clerk's office, along with a team of skilled poll workers, rose to the occasion, implementing processes and procedures to ensure that Farmington's elections continue to set the standard for voting security, transparency, and professionalism. In an era where elections matter more than ever, I'm grateful and proud of our team in the clerk's office. Just outside the bustle of City Hall is our Farmington Community Library, a community hub for the two cities. Both FCL locations serve as a central public space, offering resources and experiences that celebrate ideas, inspire creativity, and enrich lives. In 2023, the library signed up 6,396 new cardholders. Over half the households in our community have an FCL card, and on average, each household checks out 55 items each year. These items are not just books. Community members borrow laptops, Wi-Fi hotspots, lawn games, STEM and play kits for children, movies, ebooks, and more. This fiscal year, the library is well on its way to circulating 1 million items in the community. The physical space provided by the library is just as valuable as the resources inside. Last year, the library was visited over 300,000 times, welcoming community members for English as a second language classes, one-on-one technology assistance, small business networking, parent workshop, teen lock-ins, and so much more. If you live, work, or go to school in Farmington or Farmington Hills, be sure to take advantage of this rich resource in our community. For all the signs of current strength in our city, I also say to all of you that the future of Farmington is bright and full of opportunity. One of Farmington's signature historic properties, the Governor Warner Mansion, has long been the backdrop for numerous wedding, prom, homecoming, family portraits. The mansion and grounds have historically been hamstringed in their use by various factors and are in need of substantial investment. In 2023, we acquired the Church of Christ Scientist property adjoining the mansion's west grounds. This strategic acquisition now provides the mansion options for future use, and I've called on the City Council to pursue that future, taking into account comprehensive feedback we receive from community stakeholders and residents, and considering design options that may improve the use of the mansion, the carriage house, and the grounds. Another key enabler for the future of the mansion is a $1 million appropriation from the state of Michigan, which State Senator Mary Cavanaugh and State Representative Jason Hoskins secured for us and presented to the city last year. These funds, a direct result of constructive engagement with our state legislators, along with the acquisition of the church, will be crucial to executing our future state for the mansion. Thank you to Senator Cavanaugh and Representative Hoskins for your leadership in preserving Farmington and Michigan history and investing in our shared future. City Hall saw an investment of a different sort. Our municipal headquarters was transformed into an art gallery thanks to the work of the Farmington Area Arts Commission. Commissioner Lisa Farron spearheaded this initiative, and the efforts of Mayor Pro Tem Jonna Balk ensured that it became a reality. Thank you to both commission members for making City Hall more vibrant and showcasing so many talented local artists. You're all invited to an upcoming artist reception on March 21st at City Hall, so please mark your calendars, and I will see you there. Now, I know these next photos may trigger a bit of anxiety for those of you who lived through Farmington's signature project that was finished in 2023. The Farmington Road streetscape. It's great. It's going to be great. The streetscape had been on the shelf for years as an unaffordable wish that left our downtown looking unfinished and lacking cohesion. The combined leadership of the City Council, the Downtown Development Authority, and the administration, coupled by decisions by the residents to implement a capital improvement millage in 2019, helped to finally make this transformational project a reality. While construction is always disruptive in the short term, the long-term positive impacts of investments like the streetscape project are undeniable. Farmington Road's new look places a priority on people while accommodating vehicles. And this is a 180 from the prior incarnation of this road as a 5-lane county road that prioritized vehicular traffic and accommodated pedestrians. This project spurred additional private investment of almost $10 million, with new businesses coming to the city like GLP Financial Advisors and La Pecora Nera, and long-standing ones like Jill's Pharmacy investing in a relocation upgrade with more visibility. The streetscape has received critical acclaim from infrastructure professionals, including the Quality of Life Project of the Year from the Detroit Metro branch of the American Public Works Association. We expect more recognition as news spreads about the success of this project. More transformation is on the horizon as we collaborate with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation on a potential redevelopment of the former Castle Dental property on Farmington Road near CVS. An additional multi-million-dollar project that will bring more reasons to spend time in downtown Farmington. The property was recently sold to local buyers who used to ride their bikes past this location. This demonstrates a full circle of impact from those who grew up in our town to now investing in the place where they grew up. DDA Executive Director Kate Knight is a catalytic leader for these projects in downtown Farmington, and she continuously ensures that Farmington is well positioned for collaboration with Oakland County and MEDC. The city is fortunate to have her leadership at City Hall. Speaking of downtown Farmington, it's booming as usual. With its slate of programming and focus on the future with a project pipeline that is the envy of many other communities, the district is an engine for growth that provides a strong sense of pride and solidifies Farmington's spirit of self-determination. Farmington's future is reflected in regional planning discussions as well. The Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, or SEMCOG, recently released its 2050 forecast for the region, broken down by community. Their forecast shows Farmington growing its household base by 2.5% over the next 25 years. I'm happy to report today that Farmington will reach this growth at a substantially faster pace, adding 2/3 of the projected housing units over the next 5 years. 2 key projects are responsible for this positive result. The first was another project in waiting that is closer to reality than it ever has been. The Maxfield Training Center property will become Hillside Towns by Robertson Brothers, bringing 53 new townhomes to the center of Farmington. This project is transformational in many respects, not only adding housing, but serving as the vehicle for a total reconstruction of Thomas Street, with water and utility infrastructure upgrades as well as walkability improvements. The project is also a springboard for a federally funded community project to add an ADA-compliant connection to Shiawassee Park. Constructive engagement with Congresswoman Haley Stevens brought in $2.1 million of federal resources back to Farmington to amplify the work we already had planned. This is a synergy that wouldn't have been identified without active leadership from the council and administration. I want to thank Councilman and former Mayor Steve Schneeman for his personal attention to this project and the substantial time and talent he has invested to move it forward. The second project is the Legion Square redevelopment, which will add another 30 housing units. Planned for the site of the current American Legion building, our Building and Planning Department, led by Director Kevin Christensen, has been heavily engaged to ensure a solid plan for this site and the new residents and families who I have no doubt are going to love Farmington. Many thanks go to Director Christensen for his leadership, deep knowledge of the city, both of which have had a remarkable impact on the Legion Square and Maxfield Training Center developments. Farmington's future is further enabled by its utility infrastructure. I'm very proud to have been on the ground floor of a key initiative between the two cities to bring an open fiber optic cable network to Farmington. Serving with the Joint Municipal Broadband Task Force and collaborating with Farmington Hills to reach an agreement with Sci-Fi Networks to make this project a reality has been some of the most gratifying work I've ever done. It's also an economic development and growth game changer. The project will increase competition for a utility we all need because no one will use less internet 5 years from now than they're using today. And none of you is using less internet today than you did 5 years ago. When elements of competition are present, prices go down and quality goes up. The construction technique that Sci-Fi will use will be minimally invasive, but allow for an almost 100% underground installation, limiting the effects of extreme weather. The network will also benefit from a location near the street as opposed to traditional utility easements at the rear of dense housing rows, enabling faster maintenance and less disturbance from other utility providers that occupy space on the poles. Sci-Fi has already begun construction in Farmington Hills, and we expect them to come to Farmington this year. So keep an eye on the city's social media and website for more information. I also have it on the QT that the pre-reservations for subscriptions to the new service are more and sooner than any other project they've done in the Midwest. So get ready to get on board for competition for internet service in Farmington. Beyond internet infrastructure, Farmington has continued its constructive engagement with DTE Energy to address the frequency and duration of power outages in our city. Over the past 3 years, we've been meeting regularly with the operations and community outreach teams at DTE. This has resulted in an increase in tree trimming and equipment upgrades to improve the performance of circuits that serve Farmington. I'm pleased to report that on a weighted average basis, the typical DTE customer has seen a 77% reduction in outage frequency and a 67% reduction in outage duration since 2021. While we still have some individual circuits that have not experienced this dramatic of an improvement, I remain confident that our ongoing communication and collaboration with DTE will yield additional positive results for Farmington residents and businesses. Walkability has long been an attractive benefit to living and working in Farmington. This benefit is so integral to the city that we formed a Pathways Committee to focus on it, and they too have been helping Farmington shape its future. The committee is participating in a collaborative project with other municipalities to create a pedestrian-friendly connection between I-275 and I-75 that runs along 9 Mile Road. 9 Mile cuts across many neighboring communities like Farmington Hills, Novi, Southfield, and Oak Park. Our committee's participation has been integral to shape how this path will cross through Farmington. We wanted not only a way to continue a trek, bike ride, or training run directly east or west through the city, but also an opportunity for those traversing 9 Mile in a more leisurely way to spend time in our downtown. The map you see here shows multiple options for runners, walkers, and bike riders to choose their own adventure and see more of the city if they'd like. When this plan comes to fruition, residents and businesses will benefit from even more multimodal transportation options and an even more walkable city. Before joining the City Council in November, Member Kevin Parkins was actively involved in this committee, helping us position ourselves to be part of the project. His involvement, along with Councilwoman Maria Taylor and Treasurer Chris Weber, has helped make this plan stronger and put Farmington in the middle of this walkability conversation, right where we should be. New visitors traveling these pathways on a Saturday will surely take the detour to the center of the city, where our award-winning farmers market will await them with fresh produce, artisanal gifts, and programming each week that promotes health and wellness through good nutrition and an active lifestyle. Our market has been voted the best farmers market for 7 years straight in Local 4's Vote for the Best contest. And the market has also celebrated its 30th anniversary last year. 30 years of supporting farmers. 30 years of community, 30 years helping kids learn where food comes from, and 30 years of delight on any given Saturday. The thanks of a grateful city go to Market Master Wolkajewski and his huge army of volunteers that pull off this weekly miracle. Opening day for the market is May the 4th, and I will see you at the market. You may notice a new element within the Farmers Market logo that I wanted to emphasize in this address. 2024 is a very special year for our city. Farmington was founded on March 8th, 1824, making this year our bicentennial. For 2 centuries, the city of Farmington has been a welcoming and thriving community. starting with the grit and resourcefulness of the founding pioneers. A full 13 years before Michigan was even a state, our city has grown to become a model for other communities that aspire to live at the intersection of history and the future. While there are many hallmarks of what we call the Farmington way, the one that stood out time and time again as we planned the bicentennial celebration was the notion that our community welcomes people from all walks of life. I want to welcome people from all over and encourage them to experience the Farmington way. You'll feel it when you visit our vibrant downtown, our historic locales like the Civic Theater and the Governor Warner Mansion, and our beautiful parks. You'll see it in our neighborhoods, restaurants, and businesses. You'll enjoy it at our events and our celebrations, which we're planning to expand with bicentennial elements. Here's a short video that captures the recipe for this very special year. At this time, I'd like to invite Zach Rich, Constituent Services Director for Congresswoman Haley Stevens and Secretary of the Farmington Public Schools Board of Education, and Jackie Thomason, District Director for State Senator Mary Kavanaugh, to the stage for a special presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of Congresswoman Haley Stevens, I wanted to present with you this proclamation, just celebrating the city of Farmington on its bicentennial. While the Congresswoman has recently added Farmington Hills to her district, this past year she has been representing the city of Farmington since coming into office in 2019. And so this means a lot to her to be able to celebrate this with you. And it's a point of personal pride as a representative of this community and one who, when you're talking about the farmers market, that's how I start out off every Saturday that I can. So, Mr. Mayor, congratulations on 200 years. We look forward to our continued partnership for many years to come.
The state legislators couldn't be here today due to their obligations in Lansing, but I know they wish they could be here to celebrate with all of you. And I have brought this tribute in celebration of the bicentennial, so congratulations to you in the city of Farmington.
Thank you very much. I feel like I should thrust these in the air and it's not the Stanley Cup. Yeah, it's not the Stanley Cup. Thank you, Zach and Jackie, and thank you to the Congresswomen and our state legislators for their support of the bicentennial. As with anything as big as a 200-year-old birthday, it takes a team. I want to thank Bicentennial Steering Committee Chair Sean Murphy and Councilwoman Maria Taylor for their commitment and energy to ensure that our celebration is worthy of a 200-year track record. Be sure to join us on the anniversary of the founding on March 8th for a special release of the 1824 Farmhouse Ale, a bicentennial brew custom made by the Farmington Brewing Company, and a pub crawl that will surely follow on Friday, starting at 5 o'clock. I hope to see you all out and about. And this brew is custom made for celebrating 200 years of a welcoming community.
We're blessed with the strength and support of our families and friends, and I'd like to take this moment to thank my council colleagues and their families for their service to the city. I'd also like to thank my wife Missy, my children Sophia and Mateo, and my parents Helene and Joe for all they've done and continue to do to allow me the privilege to serve the city that I love very much. The state of our city is strong. Farmington's future is strong. I look forward to seeing that future come to be and doing what it takes to see that it happens. Thank you for your attention, and may God continue to bless Farmington.